Thank you. First frame, Scott Donaldson to break.
So it's Scott Donaldson to get us underway. The first of 6 frames for a place in the round of 32.
Well, difficult opening red to take on from that distance. Wasn't that far away, but as we watched the replay, just caught the other red on the way back. Good early chance here for Scott Donaldson, but black tied up, so he'll have to go back for the blue. Well, that jumped a bit. That was a bit of a kick.
One.
It was a pretty handy kiss, wasn't it, on the red? Otherwise, he could have been completely out of position.
Well, he's underhit that slightly. Hence the shake of the head. Should have been much straighter on this red. Well, it doesn't look like his interest in the red to the right. Look, I think he's going to play safe here.
Scott Donaldson, 6.
Red spread far and wide here, but no attempt for Scott. I think it's important, really, from his point of view, Phil, that he settles quickly, doesn't he, against the defending champion?
Yes, and he's already had an early chance, and that's a safety error. He has beaten Mark Selby, which always helps. That was on the European Tour a couple of years ago.
1.
In fact, all of their previous 5 meetings have been over the best of 7 frames. Of course, this is the longer best of 11.
Of course, Mark opted to not play in Ireland to prepare for this UK Championship. His defence, of course, as I've already mentioned. He's just overdone that slightly. Played on the
6.
right on red. It's still on, but more difficult than intended. Should get this.
7.
Great tournament, this, Phil, of course, in a great city. And just with Christmas coming up as well, there's a great atmosphere, great buzz around the venue and in the city. Great crowd in here this afternoon. Well, there's our scoring bar. 17 points scored, 66 points required, and a possible 132 on. That's how it works. See Ken Doherty in the background there. Tell you what, that's a great matchup, Phil, as well, isn't it? Ken Doherty against Neil Robertson. And Ken's been playing well. Wouldn't be surprised if he beat Neil there.
Robertson will feel he could certainly have had an easier televised draw. All of these players, of course, playing their first round here before the cameras arrived. This is the round of 64.
Well, just lost the cue ball. I don't think he expected to catch the second red as much as he did. As I mentioned before, it's a wonderful venue. 4 tables in the main arena, 4 around the back.
Mark Selby, 29.
Well, unfortunate to see the cue ball land on the side cushion there. Total of £850,000 available in this tournament this week, and the winner on Sunday will get a cheque for £170,000. Now, somebody who's in the middle rankings or just above, if somebody captures that, they can go way up the list, can't they? We've seen it happen before. It's great prize money. I don't know about you, I still get asked, who's going to win this week? Who's going to win this week? You just can't predict, can you, really? There's so many tournaments around, so many players playing so well.
Scott Donaldson gave that a lot of thought, but it's gone horribly wrong. Yes, it's becoming increasingly harder, isn't it, to predict. Such is the pool of players capable of springing surprises. We saw a huge one, of course, in the first round here in York with Ding Junhui losing to Leo Fernandez from 5-1 up and 40-0 up. Extraordinary upset, really. Ding has been struggling in recent weeks. He's had an eye infection, which hasn't helped.
And, of course, a great win for Jimmy White against Ali Carter. So another chance here then for the defending champion. Just enough for him. Ooh. Thought that looked a bit wide for a second there. I think it might just go on. Yes. Terry Camilleri, our referee. Already with a 31-point lead here for Mark. Plenty of reds in the open to capture this opening frame. Opening day of the Shears UK Championship, packed house,
15.
Great atmosphere.
$16.
Already up to 45 points, needs 66 to take this frame. Haven't seen any Christmas hats yet, Phil. I think it's a bit early. There was last year. I know we were 3 weeks away, but
21.
I'm sure there's a few Santas floating around there somewhere.
Yeah, it won't take long.
22.
Short of pace, he's the wrong side of the blue. Might play the brown here to get back towards the reds. I think he's got a slide angle on the green as well. Well, he's decided on the pink. And that's well played.
$28. $29.
Thinking one more red required then to leave Scott needing snookers. Well, he's needed, Mark, I should say, he's needed 2 or 3 chances here, but looks like he's going to take this frame now.
35.
So this red is frame ball. And you won't be missing this one. Well, Scott's had a couple of half chances, didn't take them, and that's what it's all about at this game. You've got to take your chances against, especially against the top stars.
A couple of safety errors as well, which have proved very expensive.
42. $43.
Can he see enough of it to pot it? Well played.
49. $55. 56. $59. 61. 64. 68. 68 in the frame. Mark.
So a break of 68 from Mark Selby after a second safety error from Scott Donaldson. The defending champion starts strongly. He leads 1-0. At the 2017 UK Championship, the defending champion, Mark Selby, breaking off in frame 2, fresh from a 68 break.
I know it's only the second frame, Phil, but I think it's important for Scott to try and get this one on the board because, you know, 2-0 might become 3-0. It could become 4-0. Then it's all sticky, isn't it? So he needs to hit straight back if he can.
Mark Selby owns 3 world titles, 3 Masters titles, and I'm sure he'd enjoy the symmetry of a 3rd UK title. It looks as though he's got away with that. Didn't legislate for the red going down to baulk, but looks as though the brown is obscuring it. That's a good opening red.
1.
We've been unlucky there. A little nudge off that red, and the black would have gone to the middle. I don't think it does. Just there, want a little bit more of a nudge on that red. Well, this is going to get interesting, especially with the red up the table. Just opening up the black, but...
Scott Donaldson 1. Touching ball.
Well, that helps a little bit, being a touching ball. Oh, now then, he left that red on through the cap. If he has, it's a little bit careless, but, well, there's not a lot of percentage in potting the red, really. Can't get onto a colour. I don't think the blue passes the red. Might do, but it'd be a difficult pot. Well, that was probably about the best he could do from there. It's all about the red up the tail, of course, near that corner pocket. Might just see 1 or 2 reds travel up the other end of the table. come off the side cushion with the cue ball here, cover the red of the corner with the other one, but also wants to cover the one to the left middle. Well, I'm not sure whether he's left this one to the left middle. He intended that cue ball to be a little bit further to the right. It's a tough red to take on, knowing that you're leaving everything else on. It's one of those, really. If you go for it and get it, you deserve all you get. And I think he's going for it. Well played. Not bad.
One.
Yes, that was a gutsy pot from Donaldson. Tough pot. Made tougher by the knowledge that Selby could be in for something big if he missed. First blood, by the way, to our new Scottish Open champion Mark Williams against Andrew Higginson. He leads 1-0, as does Mark Allen over Ollie Lyons. Irish Open champion, sorry. Scottish Open coming up, of course, straight after the UK Championship, the third leg of the Home Nations in Glasgow, starting a week Monday. No rest for the righteous. And the man who made the semi-finals of the Irish Open, Liu Hao Shan, losing out to Yan Bing Tao, is 2-0 up already on Peter Ebdon.
Continuing the good form then. Good final that last weekend, wasn't it?
Fantastic final.
Yep. Nine.
Looks like Ken Doherty is going to win the opening frame on table 2 against Neil Robertson. Currently 80 points in front on a break of 51. That's on the Eurosport player, of course.
Ten.
Well, just a little bit of movement in his eye line with the 4-table situation. People just started coming in and out. There we go. There's the lineup. Just 1 or 2 latecomers. And this multi-table situation, Phil, you have to try and maintain your concentration, don't you? You know, the players can looking over sometimes at other matches. I just think there should be a lip between, you know, just a small lip between the tables, so you can't see when you're shooting into the other table, you know, really. I've suggested that before. It doesn't need to be that high, 7 or 8 inches, something like that, that's all. It's gone wrong there, though.
Looked like quite a lively bounce off the side cushion, but maybe Donaldson's concentration was slightly disturbed there.
Yeah, just getting back to that between the tables, why don't they think about putting a little lip, just, you know, between the 2 tables, or all the tables, actually, so you're not sort of seeing anything that's going on the other side, especially when you're down around the black spot. It's just a suggestion. Went for the double, too narrow.
Well, that's a couple of scoring
40.
chances that Scott Donaldson has had already. Had one early in the first frame, early here in the second, off that excellent opening red, but not much to show for them. winner of this match plays either Lee Hang or Rob Milkins in the round of 32. First blood to Milkins, by the way, in that one.
Well, with not getting the cue ball tight to the cushion, there is a red on here for Mark to the yellow pocket. It's risky, but if he's got a slight angle, he could stun over for the blue, and then it would be a great chance. Is he tempted? No, just played the safety. That's fair enough. Pretty good safety there from Mark Selby, and he's making Scott think about this one a little. It's not that easy to get the cue ball back to the ball carrier. Might be screwing back off this one. Hang on. Not bad. Only just missed the double kiss on the way back. I think this red will go to the corner, though, the one that he's nearest to, and if he stuns over for the blue, Mark can play this in such a way to cover everything else, so he might have a go at this. And again, if it goes in, he's in good position. You can play this with an element of safety. Oh, clean as a whistle. Great pot.
Had a bit of a scare, of course, Mark Selby in the first round here against Egypt's Bassem Eltahan. He managed to take 4 frames off the defending champion. Exceptional performance.
Six.
Well, the way he plays this will tell us if the black goes to the left corner. It might be able to hold, actually, for the black to the right. Yes, no problem.
7.
Well, it was a good opening red. And this is a great chance now. Dear me, what has he done here? I think he's snookered himself.
40. Touching ball.
Well, that is incredible. Just played to glance, sort of run past the edge of the pack there. I mean, he could have dropped that in and left himself near the top cushion. Touching ball. Easy to play the safety possible snooker, but it was
Mark
right to
Selby,
still
40.
have been at the table. Might just have the snooker. Well, he needed to hit the cushion first, the top cushion first, because he's left this red to the middle.
One.
Needed more on the cue ball. Can't really see him taking on the brown. If the yellow wasn't there, he might have done. In behind the yellow, I think.
Mark Selby, 1.
Keeping the pressure on. Oh, this was unbelievable, Phil, wasn't it? I mean, that was one of the worst shots I've ever seen him play. He could have dropped that in and gone to the top cushion.
Yes, there was a look of puzzlement on Selby's face, almost embarrassment, actually. Very rare for him to make an elementary mistake like that. Still in control of the table, though.
Yeah, the previous shot, though, Mark wanted that cue ball tight to the yellow to stop Scott playing that shot. You might just be able to see the red through the gap, and well, Mark got a little glance on the blue on the way through there. But if you can't see the red, you can still come off the side and top cushions just to lay on the red there near the top cushion. And the danger is, it's got to be aware that it's quite easy to go around these. Well, this was that red into the corner. I thought from there it might have been frame over. Well played. But again, I wanted to be right behind the red. This red will go to the corner, I think, past the green. He'll be taking this on. He's not refused much so far, Mark Selby. It's wide. Well, that's pretty good from the defending champion. It's all about sort of blocking this red near the top cushion. And you might be able to see enough of it to take it on. Well, at least play the safety. I wonder whether Mark might be tempted with the double into the middle here.
One.
Terrific red, but not the result he wanted on his next gallop.
Yeah, didn't need much more, though, to be on the blue.
Mark Selby, 1.
Something of a stalemate now, this frame, with reds in the balk area.
Where the reds are, though, Phil, just one chance needed, I think, and to win the frame.
Ryan Day and Tepchire and New are already at their mid-session interval. 2 frames apiece. Lee Hang has levelled against Rob Milkins at 1-all. Is that a plant?
It might be, but I'm not sure you can see enough of it.
Mark Williams has doubled his lead over Andrew Higginson, 2-0. Ollie Lyons has levelled against Mark Allen at 1-all. And on the Eurosport player, it's still Ken Doherty 1, Neil Robertson 0. Robertson with a 40-point advantage in the second.
That's possible for the safety, but he'll need to get the white tight. Followed down line, but decided to leave the white on the side cushion.
Mark Selby has already added to his ranking title tally, of course, this season, retaining his international championship title for his 13th ranking success.
Well, that's a big mistake from Scott Donaldson to leave that red on. Cannot believe that he's put the white there without red being able to be potted.
Could be fatal in this second frame.
What was he thinking? He's asking for trouble.
Three. 4.
Gone for the cannon. Looks pretty good to me. Ooh, that's unlucky.
Yes, it looked very good on the way down, didn't it? But couldn't have finished much more awkwardly.
Just caught the right hand Redfield in. If he caught the left hand one, I think it would have been perfect. Well, I suppose any other contact than the one he got, he would have been on the red. Well, he's trying to cut this back in. It's a thin one. Too thin, I think. Oh, well played.
10.
I know it's new cloth on, Phil, but these pockets are looking a little bit generous at early doors.
Well, it's the festive season, the time for giving.
Don't think there's many takers in this field, though.
$15.
Very good.
Selby, 15.
And as we know, Mark Selby is world #1 by the proverbial country mile, because he can mix it in all sorts of different ways. He can make the big breaks, but when things do become awkward and scrappy, as they have in this frame, there are very few who can match him in the safety stakes.
That's a good hit. That will do. Could do with this one on the board. Just settle into the match.
Scott Donaldson could have been forgiven for thinking that, having finally scored a victory this year to set up this appearance in the last 64, he could have had a kinder draw than the defending champion and world #1 Mark Selby. But his attitude, I've spoken to him a few times before, is that it's all about the balls, not the opponent. It's how you play, and that of course is the right way to approach it. But Mark Selby's long game is looking in fine fettle already this afternoon, and that could well be a frame winner.
$6. 7.
Donaldson will be hoping that this tricky red comes to his rescue.
30.
Yes, had to leave it from distance. Wasn't the right side of the pink, but he could stun this in and just get him behind the black here. Oh, you can't look. Chose to stay on the
40.
pink. Now just the red go past the black.
Well, he only needs the pink.
Of course, yeah. Good red. .36 the lead, 35 on. And if the red goes, it's 2-0. Or at least a snooker.
Mark Selby, 20.
Nice little visit that from Mark Selby. I know it's only one snooker, but he should have done enough. Of course, it's Scott that needs the snooker. He's got to get himself out of this one first. He could leave this red on. Oh, hang on.
You won't be asking for that one back.
No.
Although he may have left it.
No, I think it's just gone far enough. I don't think the potting angle's on, Phil. I think it's just gone far enough, but would have been a nice bonus if it was a snooker. Can Mark get to this? Tell you what, you were right. Good shout.
One.
So that sets the seal on this second frame. Again, Scott Donaldson did have an early chance. Potted an excellent opening red to left centre, but couldn't score from that opportunity that he created for himself. And a bit of a tactical battle.
6.
But the world #1, the world champion and defending UK champion, already looking rock solid today.
Nine. $13. 18. 24. Frame.
Mark Selby doesn't bother with the black. That clearance to the pink of 24 after he won a couple of safety duels, enough to double his lead to 2-0. Doherty took the opening frame against Neil Robertson, who has managed to level up at 1-1, but Doherty, as you can see, world champion 20 years ago now, in first in the third. Joe Johnson and Dave Hendon bringing you that one on the player.
Well, that's one that got away. This long game has been pretty good so far. Ooh, don't tell me that has rested on the blue and snookered him. That's so fortunate if it has. Those have been going in. Looks like you can see it.
One.
Well, I mentioned about the last frame to try and get kickstart Scott's game, but I think this is important, this one. 3-0, could be 4-0 at the interval.
It's the third time that he's been in first.
Well, that's a little bit unlucky. He might have one to the left middle.
6.
But it could have been easier than this.
Full-blooded, didn't hold back, deserved a bit of luck.
Needs a good pot here, though, to continue. Yep, well played.
7.
Good cueing.
He's a very capable player, Donaldson. He proved that, of course, at the Welsh Open earlier this year, last season, when he made the semi-finals, beat the likes of Jack Lazowski, Mark King, Mark Davis, Xiao Yulong. He can play.
Yes, but he hasn't converted his early chances so far in this match. He's got to get stuck in here now.
$30. 20.
I think he intended to be on this right-hand red, but he's gone a bit too far. The left one goes. Past the pack. Got to try and convert this
21.
chance, though. Well, we know how fast these tables can be. He's just lost the cue ball there. He played on the blue, but it's okay. He's got the green. Could still play the blue.
$26.
Well, that's the angle for the black there. Just hold for that, or we can play on the blue. Just the black.
27.
Mark Allen is back in front of Ollie Lyons. Allen, of course, a former UK finalist, losing out to Judd Trump 6 years ago in the title match. Mark Joyce is 2-0 up on Dave
34.
Gilbert.
$35.
Well, that was nearly a disaster. Seeing that red go towards the middle pocket.
42.
Would have been desperately unlucky. But I think his heart skipped a beat here. It was mighty close. Take a look at this red. Just hit the near jaw.
And it wasn't set as a plant, was it? But he nearly made it into one. Not ideal position, but I think still this red on the right-hand side.
$43. $50.
Might be able to just run off the other reds here for the black. Could play with backspin. There we go. 69 points required. And there's a 1-4-1 on here. A high break at the moment stands at 1-3-7, jointly owned by Judd Trump and Joe Perry. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's a £5,000 bonus for the highest break this week, unless it's a 147, in which case it'll be a total of 20,000.
58. $59.
Yeah, it's 15 plus 5 for the high break. Of course, as Phil has just mentioned, that's worth having. That would buy a few Christmas presents.
Yes, of course, Mark Selby made a bit of history here at the UK back in 2013,
64.
making the 100th competitive maximum break.
Yeah, and how good was that black into the left middle?
65.
Most acute of angles, wasn't it? But this is exactly what Scott Donaldson needed to do. Got in with a good red, punishing Mark Selby's error from long range. Wasn't able to take his chances in the first couple, but he has taken this one. He's over the winning line, barring snookers.
71. $78. 79. 84. 85. 88.
Well, it would be nice to see the century, but these are always tricky.
So no century from Scott Donaldson, but that was a really good response to losing the first two frames of break of 88 to halve the deficit to 2-1. So Mark Selby breaking off in frame 4, the last before the mid-session interval. Really good response from Scott Donaldson to losing the first two frames when he did have early chances, couldn't score from them, but he did score handsomely from the chance he created in the third frame, 88, to make it 2-1. And now he'll feel part of the match, having got a frame on the board.
Absolutely, and you know, it could be 2-2 at the interval, which he will be happy with.
He pushed Selby very close, of course, when they met just a few weeks ago at the English Open, losing by the odd frame. No question that the world number one would not have been taking anything for granted today. I can tell you that Neil Robertson needs a snooker on table 2 against Ken Doherty. Excellent blue from Doherty. And that applause you can hear is for the disappearance of the pink in the Irishman's favour. So 2-1 to the underdog.
think he's just got enough room here to pot this one. And I just wonder if the black's available. He could just drop this in. Ah, well.
One.
Another good chance.
Eight. Nine. Fourteen. $15.
Ollie Lyons has managed to level up with Mark Allen at 2 frames all at their mid-session interval. Andrew Higginson has pulled a frame back against Mark Williams. 2-1 now, Williams.
Scott's just got to be a little bit careful here. This could go wrong. If he plays a cannon, he might just lose the cue ball. I mean, he could go fully into the pink and scatter them, if he wishes. It's not bad, but he'll play the higher red. The other one's too straight.
20.
It would be handy if you could get the black onto its own spot. That's a bad miss, really.
Scott
That's
Donaldson.
a really
20.
good chance.
He was beginning to look good there, Donaldson, building up some confidence. That'll frustrate him. Held his hand up to apologise. He could have left something easier for Selby.
Good take on this red down the cushion, though. And if he just bumps the white off the middle pocket, he'll cover the one over this corner. Yeah, I think he can play this and play with an element of safety. Just drop the red in. He would be on the blue, and once the cue ball comes away from the cushion a couple of inches. Well, I definitely think this is worth playing down the cushion at a certain pace. It's a little bit awkward, just stretching over everything. Can't really get down as you would like, but it should be okay. Oh, I wonder, did that come away? Because round about the ball line, it looked in.
Scott Donaldson asking Terry Camilleri to clean the cue ball.
That's
yeah, it did look as though it wandered a bit, didn't it? It was looking good.
You know, I thought it had, Phil, because I said as soon as he got to the ball line, it looked like it was just going to come back. It went out. It actually came away from the cushion. Well, that will be checked.
One.
So a second chance then for Scott Donaldson to build on the 20-point lead. This is going to go down as a really good opportunity to share the first 4 frames, having lost the first 2.
Eight. Nine.
Well, 2 apiece at the interval. He'll be delighted.
$16.
Could have been a better cannon.
$70. $22. $23.
Wow. Wow, how did that go in?
Well, again, I think Scott Donaldson might have aged a couple of years there for a moment when it looked as though it was going to hang on the jaw of the pocket. But he's still looking good for 2-all. That will be a terrific result, having lost the first 2.
Little cannon on the right on one of the 2 here would be handy. Just open up those 2 reds. Yeah, he didn't have to play that, I think. Can do enough damage here without those reds.
Lou Hao, by the way, semi-finalist at the recent Irish Open. 3-1 up at the interval on Peter Ebdon, another former UK champion in the field.
$39.
So one more red.
46.
The best Selby can do is force a respot. Red and the black, and it should be 2-all.
$47.
Well, perhaps Selby was a little bit unlucky in attempting the red along the rail. It did seem to drift out a little. This is the result.
But I'll tell you what, Phil, this black could have been easy. Still needs it. What did I say? I'll tell you. You know, he left himself low on the black.
Scott
Mark and
Donaldson,
tie.
47.
That is unbelievable.
He knew that was a big shot. And there's nothing much safe. The pink's a bit awkward. There's a red on the side rail, but this is a chance for Selby.
Certainly is, and if he gets in behind that red, he needs 5 reds, 5 blacks for a respot. Oh, hello. Mobile phone going off. The first of the day. And I hope it's the last.
8.
He's just got to sit and suffer for the time being and hope that Mark Selby can't make the clearance.
9.
So a few years ago, there was a funny incident in one of the qualifying sections, Phil, when a mobile phone went off and the players looking around, and then one of the players realised it was his. It was in his pocket. He forgot to turn it off when he came back for the interval. So he's having a look around in the audience, and it was... I'm not saying who it is. I think he knows who he is, but I'm not going to say it. It was quite funny.
16. $70.
Well, this is the black. Had it gone in, it was a certainty for 2 each.
Do you know, and when I looked at it, I wasn't so sure he was going to knock it in, you know what I mean? I didn't fancy him for it, especially with it being frame ball. Well, this will hurt.
24.
I mean, Mark's still got a lot to do here, but he has the chance to force the respot. He might even play a snooker later on the colours. He could leave the last red on. Gets the red and black here. Doesn't have to go for the clearance. Well, he won't be going for the clearance from there. He's over hit that. Can't get anywhere near this final red.
Well,
Mark Selby, 25.
that is a surprise and a huge relief for Scott Donaldson. Selby not playing the best positional shot to the black, but you still expected him to drop this in. So snooker's now required. Should be under frame. 2 of them, to be precise. And there's no doubt that Scott Donaldson will be the happier of the 2 to be level. Mind you, if anyone can turn a frame around from 2 snookers required, it's Mark Selby.
Was it last year, one of the events he wanted 5 and got 4 of them? And that's the thing, when you play Mark Selby, you just can't relax. Because he just keeps coming at you all of the time. Keeps the pressure on. Might be a chance here to get him behind the black. Too wide. Well, he'll feel that is a missed opportunity. pretty good, though. Yeah, it's a good hit, but he'll be in trouble again after this one.
Mark Selby still needs 2 snookers to turn this frame around.
What about that one?
Mid-session interval next door on table 2. Neil Robertson 2, Ken Doherty 2. Twice Doherty was in front. Well, he must have caught the red before he caught the black.
Well, for me, I thought that was together, which would have been a foul.
Either way, this red to make absolutely sure. Obviously, there's some movement next door with the mid-session interval having arrived. So Scott Donaldson just refocusing, knocked this in, and it's 2 apiece. And he'll be highly delighted about that, having lost the first 2 frames, had a couple of chances in those frames early, didn't score from them, but then responded well in the 3rd, making 88. He's taken the 4th as well. And Mark Selby heads to his dressing room. He'll be a little frustrated, the defending champion, having led 2-0. He was looking to do some damage before the interval. In the event, he's been pegged back. Well played, Scott Donaldson. And all to play for after their 15-minute break. It's Mark Selby 2, Scott Donaldson 2.
So it's a really interesting match to come here.
OK, well, of course, you won't miss a ball. We played to a finish. It's the first of 6 for a place in the round of 32. 2-2 between Mark Selby and Scott Donaldson. Let's hand back to our commentators. Mike Hallett, and first up, Phil Studd.
So it's a best of 7, and that won't faze the defending champion because he's won 7 European Tour titles over the shorter distance, even though he is synonymous with the longer frame matches. But impressive stuff from Donaldson to fight back, Mike, from 2-0 down.
Yes, indeed. The head didn't drop, did it? And, in fact, he had chances to win the first 2 as well. But it's interesting now. Especially, well, the next 2 frames will be, as to which way they're going to go. But I think there'll be a lot more focus now from the defending champion. I'm not saying there wasn't before. He opted not to play in Ireland to prepare for this one. which is fair enough.
I think he needed a rest, to be honest. A lot of toing and froing between the UK and Asia. Of course, he won the international championship. He looked dead on his feet at the Champion of Champions.
He did, didn't he? Absolutely. It was one match too far, one tournament too far. It's a very prestigious tournament, that, and he was disappointed that he got there feeling that tired. But I suppose that's what you get when you've been so successful. You can't blame him for not going to Belfast. But at the end of the day, Phil, it's nice to have the choice now.
Yes, and it's inevitable that the top players, as we see Donaldson missing this attempt to right centre, will have to manage their campaigns. They can't play in everything and expect to be at their very best.
1.
Good opening red.
Yeah, and that again for me went. Just have a look at this. I mean, it wasn't dead clean. It really went off the side knuckle there. I mean, I know it's new cloth, but these look very generous, and it's the same template we've been using for what, 30-odd years. But that, I don't know again how that went in at that pace.
6. Seven.
Well, again, a little bit straight on the blue. You can drop this blue in for the right-hand red. Overdone that one.
12th.
Take the one to the centre. Played on the one at the back of the pack.
$30. Yep.
The winner of this match plays the winner of the match between Lee Hang and Rob Milkins. And I can tell you it's level at their interval, 2 apiece.
Well, he's going to have to stay on the blue for the time being.
90.
Might go into them here. Full ball on the pink would be nice. Well, if this red does go to the middle pocket, it's tough.
24.
Didn't catch the pink full. And that's where the white ends up. Tell you what, he hasn't clicked yet.
Mark Selby,
Phil.
24.
He's not been at his best, Mark Selby.
It was a tough pot, but he missed it by a long way. Didn't threaten the pocket.
Yeah, I'm only saying that because if he'd have been right on it, then he would have knocked that in, I think. But good chance here for Scott Donaldson.
One.
The applause is for a century break next door from Neil Robertson on the resumption. So Robertson, who, as the guys were discussing, has to win to avoid missing the Masters in the new year. 3-2 up now on Ken Doherty. Coverage continues on the Eurosport Player.
7.
Well, that kicked and just stopped the white a little bit. Average shot time in 29 seconds is quite a long time, but just have a look at this again. See the red jump, but sometimes it doesn't always show the way the frames have gone. They can go a little bit awkward, and some of the shots need a little bit more thought.
Yes, and Mark Selby's ability to tie players up means that often they're deliberating for a long time when they're trying to get out of a snooker or trying to play safe. That doesn't help with the average shot time.
Well, the camera's just shown us that these two reds are set to this right corner pocket. Well played. Wanted more backspin on the cue ball, though.
Well, the reds split beautifully now, so it's all about the next colour for Donaldson, if he can get it.
Yeah, didn't get enough backspin there, but he's got well, he's got the green or the blue, but there's just a little bit of pressure on these. I think he's opting for the blue. To the corner, I think. Well played. Struck that well.
Growing in confidence all the time. What a chance this is.
18. $90.
I think he'll have to run down for the red beyond the blue here. Well, unless he can hold the white for the left on one of the two. This might actually work out okay, because if he can hold the white where the pink is, he could play a little cannon into the red nearest the black and open everything up. Now, this is going to be interesting to see how he plays this one. Will he play to free the black up or go back for the pink? Doesn't have to play on the black.
25.
Played the percentage
26.
shot. That's fair enough. Could have done with a little bit more on the cue ball, though.
$32.
Well, at one stage, they were both up to 92, which was pretty good. He's still at 90, which isn't bad.
33. $38. $39.
Well,
44.
leads by 20. Well, look at that. Can't split them on the frame, saw the points. Amazing. But a bit more work needed now from this position.
$45.
That was interesting there, Phil. Just spotted there with Scott that the cue is just slightly left of the chin. Graham Miles used to be quite prominent, wasn't it, when he used to play? We get the head-on shot. It's not. So he's cueing over his left eye, really. Look at that, just slightly off centre. Didn't notice that before.
51.
All the players have their little idiosyncrasies. As long as they keep going in, that's all that matters. But this has gone awry.
Yeah, there was no need to ring for that taxi. But that's it, isn't it? I mean, look at the late, great Alex Higgins. You know, everybody said he sort of jumped on the shot. He didn't. If you actually watched it closely, he hit the ball, then he jumped. But the cue went through straight. What a talent he was. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Frustration here, though, for Donaldson. Opportunity to take a 3-2 lead. He still may, but work to do.
Scott Donaldson, 51.
So 27 the lead with 51 remaining. Ryan Day is within a frame of victory over Tepchire and New at 5-3. Ryan Day won his first ever ranking event this season at the Riga Masters.
That's pretty good. Playing a slight swerve here. Try and catch this red back quarter ball. It's not bad. He'll settle for that. Well, Neil Robertson flying on table 2. He's made a ton in the last. He's on 93 with 2 reds left. So he's upped his game. He's gone into a different gear. We talked about the possibility of him not being at the Masters. So it's unbelievable, really, isn't it? So he needs a great run here this week.
Yeah, and the applause is for his second consecutive century. That match continues on the player. Commentary from Hendon and Johnson. And that's a terrific pop from Selby.
No, I think he's gone just a touch too far. Not sure if he can pot this. That's well worth another look. How well did he hit this? But I think that white has just run on about 2 inches too far to pot the black.
Brown. Mark Selby 1.
Well, he was looking to get him behind the pink there. 26 in it, 43 at the table.
Well, any time you can edge Mark Selby in the safety stakes, you're having a good day. Outstanding stats for both.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
This is a real battle now for Selby. When he led 2-0, he might have anticipated a reasonably comfortable afternoon. It's proving to be anything but now. Mark Williams has now moved 3-2 up on Andrew Higginson, who was 2-0 down.
Well, he's left this, and I was just wondering whether the white might finish over the top of the brown, but it hasn't done, so a chance for Mark to get back in here. Fancy him to knock the red in, and he'll need an angle on a colour or something. He's got to split the red and the black. He could get onto the blue from this.
One.
Well, he's got an angle on the blue, has an angle on the yellow as we watch the replay. Good pot. Will he take the blue one? Well, I think he's looking to pot this and get an angle on this red to lay the snooker. Oh, hang on, hang on. I thought for 1 second there he's going to snooker himself.
7.
Well, as it is, he could just play the red up and down. He's got to avoid the black here, though, on the with the cue ball on the way through. This is pretty tight. Has to be careful he doesn't nudge the black and leave the red on.
Scott Donaldson was looking good for 3-2 before he ran out of position. Didn't get the cannon he wanted.
Yeah, Mark's not playing the shot I suggested. It's obviously too tight. Just get the feeling, though, Phil.
Mark Selby 7.
This is a really big frame, isn't it? Either way, I know it's only going to be 3-2, but well, he should be back in trouble here. White in behind the black. Well, he chose to use the blue instead. I think he's just about got the snooker.
Nothing safe. It's all about this red.
Yes, this would be a good steal, this, for Mark Selby. The thing is, these players, especially the top stars, Phil, they're very, very good, very clever at realising where the important moment in a match could be. This might be one of them. Yep, good hit. Well, that's poor. That really is poor. Andy's left the red on. Didn't get into the cue ball at all there. Well, that will annoy him.
It'll annoy him even more if Donaldson can float this red in and clear up for 3-2. Already 19 points in front, so not much to do to get over the winning line. And it goes.
1.
Well, the black means that the best Selby could do is tie.
Well, good pot that, but really shouldn't have been left. Mark Selby knows that now. What he can play a stun shot here onto the side cushion, leave himself some sort of shot on the yellow, which he will need. But of course then, make sure you get the pot. It's like he's dropping this in. Can't blame him for that.
27 the difference, 27 left.
Not sure now though that he'll go for the pot. He could have bounced the white off the cushion a little bit further down perhaps.
Scott Donaldson, 8.
Well, this is a half chance. Touch of left-hand side. He might be able to pot this and get onto the green. Too thin. Oh, well, I was about to say, has he got away with that? Hasn't helped his cause as he's put the black safe.
Maybe feeling the pressure at the moment, Selby, defending his title. Certainly not firing as he could be. And Scott Donaldson only needs the yellow to leave Selby needing snookers.
That's easy for you to say.
Apparently not. It's one snooker to tie now. Oh dear.
And there it is. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate.
Well, you have to say that was pretty unfortunate. Couldn't have legislated for a full ball snooker behind the brown.
Yeah, and it's just as well that the black is safe now on the side cushion.
Great tussle between Ollie Lyons as Mark Selby watches on, and Mark Allen. They're at 3 apiece. Ryan Day is our first winner this afternoon. He's beaten Tepchire Nu of Thailand 6-3. Good hit from Donaldson. That was very missable.
Scott Donaldson, 2.
So Mark Selby needs a snooker to tie. Yes, Ryan Day will play the winner of the Mark Williams-Andrew Higginson match. Williams was 2-0 up in that one. It's now 3-2 to the Welshman. Blue House Shah, 3-2 up on Peter Ebdon. Dave Gilbert has belatedly won a frame against Mark Joyce, but still trails 4-1. And Neil Robertson threatening to make it 3 centuries on the bounce on table 2.
Yeah, he's on a mission. Needs to be, of course. Looking to try and get into the Masters. Just seems a bit strange to say that, Phil, doesn't it? Neil Robertson not in the Masters, eh? Or might not be.
Very much so. One of the few players to have won all 3 Triple Crown events, of course, Robertson, twice a UK winner. But as they say, form may be temporary, class is permanent. And it's always felt as though it was a matter of time before Robertson found his best. Who knows, it could be this week.
Well, still requiring that 1 snooker to tie. Could play one on the blue, actually. You can win from there, but just look where the black is. Not many options if you go that far. There's that cue ball.
Well, the roar is for a 3rd consecutive century from Neil Robertson, the man who made a century of centuries in a single season. Tremendous stuff from the Aussie, who now leads 5-2 against Ken Doherty. Doherty had led 2-1.
Well, he's had breaks of 102, 124. He's on 107 with a brown left. Incredible. Completely different player this half.
Mark Selby still searching for the snooker that could allow him to tie this frame. Well, here we go. Neil Robertson, this black for a 1-2-9 clearance. Sensational snooker from the Melbourne left-hander. 3 centuries on the bounce, 4 straight frames. He now leads 5-2 and is just 1 away from a place in the 3rd round. Coverage continues on the Eurosport Player.
Well, he's caught that all wrong. Pink's gone in. Might be conceded.
6th frame. Scott Donaldson.
So Mark Selby is under a bit of pressure here from 2-0 up. He's lost 3 straight frames to the world number 66, Scott Donaldson. An utterly miserable season, arriving at the Barbican without a single win to his name in 10 attempts. Managed to break that duck against John Astley, and now he's got the world #1 in a bit of bother at 3-2.
No, that's poor. That could be costly.
One.
Well, I think that kicked a little bit because the white seemed to stop here. Mark obviously looking to get onto the pink. He's left himself low. It's okay, you can just drop this in for the left unread.
Seven. Eight.
Well, again, I think that was a little bit of a heavy contact there. It's got the wrong side of the pink.
Forty. $15.
Well, again, it looks pretty straight on the pink. Might have to look for something else.
$21.
Well, that was better cueing.
$25.
Well, obvious to say that the black will
26.
go. Mark needs to get something together here to level up this match. Hasn't quite fired yet. Just on 2 hours match time.
Another century has just been rattled in by Mark Allen this time. He leads Ollie Lyons 4-3 as a result. Liu Hao Shan now 4-2 up on Peter Ebden.
This is a little tricky one here. They tend to overcut these, if anything. He's got it, though. Well played.
34.
Ooh, don't go behind the red.
37.
He's got the one to the middle, but that's incredible. If he's snookered himself on the red nearest the black.
And the body language would suggest he has.
He has. That's unbelievable. Oh, we keep saying it, Phil, fractions at this game. Look at that.
Yeah, and this table has been lightning quick. Ken Doherty celebrating, scoring a point, his first since the interval.
Mark Selby, 37.
Well, Selby's frustrations continue for now. Has to make do with 37, having run out of position.
And left a possible red on here. Well, nearly.
Well, no fourth century in 4 frames from Neil Robertson, but some tremendous snooker from the champion of 2 years ago. That's much more like the Robertson of old against Ken Doherty. And he has blitzed his opponent since the interval from 2-1 down. 5 frames on the bounce. Robertson safely through to the last 32, and therefore enhancing his chances of making it to Ali Pali and the Masters in the new year. He now plays either Mark Joyce or Dave Gilbert. At the moment, that's looking like Joyce, although he was 4-0 up against Gilbert. It's now 4-2. Mark Selby back in with a chance to equalise at 3-all.
Well, that wasn't totally clean either. Struggled in.
7.
The defending champion has not quite been on it so far this afternoon. Well, it could get interesting, Phil. If he loses this one, it goes 4-2.
That would certainly be a test of his mettle, but at the moment, he still remains firm favourite for 3 each.
Yeah, he's got a good lead here. Be very surprised if he loses his frame from here.
Robertson's pot success percentage today, 97. That is outstanding.
11.
That's incredible, isn't it? I mean, to get there during the match, fair enough, but to actually finish the match at that, I think Ronnie did that once. He was up to 100%, finished at 97. It's incredible.
Yes, he did it when he won his English Open title this season. O'Sullivan missed just 6 balls in the final against Kyron Wilson.
Meanwhile, Mark here in a very strong position now to make it 3 apiece, and game on.
Just this red then for Selby.
$27. $34. 35. $42. 43.
Selby's best break so far, the 68 that gave him the opening frame.
$50.
It's not far away. Ooh.
50 in the frame.
But a second half century of the match from the defending champion is just what he required, with Scott Donaldson now pegged back to 3 each. Now a best of 5 for a place in round 3 here at the UK Championship. Selby levelling up courtesy of that 50 break, having lost 3 on the bounce. All to play for.
Yeah, and Scott could have done with the cue ball on the back cushion there, because Mark will be going for this. Unlucky. So close. It's not finished bad, though. Just put his hand up to apologise there, because the white landed on the side cushion. It's he could have caught the red on the way back, and it would have been in the sort of middle of the table. Yeah, he didn't look happy there, Phil. He's not happy, is he? I know it's 3-all, but it doesn't look happy. He's not happy the way he's playing.
No, he started strongly at 2 up. It was looking as though he could run away with things, but credit to Scott Donaldson. He's plugged away. He's played some good stuff. And I think that's a fluke.
1.
Sure enough, he holds up his hand. Didn't intend the plant, but he'll take it. And given the way Donaldson is playing and competing here against the very best in the world, it is all the more mysterious that coming into this tournament, he'd lost 10 on the spin this season.
Well, the brown is onto the middle. You can drop it in for the red near the blue. Could have done with that, just rolling another couple of inches. I think he's okay for the one there, the blue, but just sometimes when you land next to a colour like this, you can just take your eye off the pot. Well played.
6.
Good chance now. You can see the confidence visibly building in Scott here, Phil, as the match has gone on. You know, 3-all, he's thinking, hang on, I've got a bit of a chance.
And that's what's clearly been lacking this season. Time after time, he's finished up on the losing side in first-round matches, and of course that means 0 prize money losing can become a habit just as winning can. But if he were to pull off a huge upset today and knock out the defending champion, well, that could be the launch pad for something much, much better for the second half of the campaign. Pretty good stats from long range, 2 out of 3. And 92%, very good. Lee Hang is now 4-2 up on Rob Milkins. The winner of that, of course, plays the winner of this match in the next round. And look at those safety stats. Outstanding. Anytime you can compete and even better Mark Selby in that department, you're giving yourself a great chance.
70.
Mark Williams is 4-2 up on Andrew Higginson, as is Lou Hao-Shan against Peter Ebden.
$25. $26. $33. $34.
As things stand, 68 is the target to get over the winning line in this frame.
$40. $41.
Just a enough angle on the black there to get around the back of this red.
48.
Well, this is a really good chance here for the Scot to get his nose back in front.
Could be a very expensive fluke for Mark Selby. That break of 88 won him the third frame, and it was a good response to losing the first two.
49.
Potted one excellent recovery red into the left centre pocket, which, had he missed it, might well have ended up seeing him fall 3-0 behind. And ever since then, he's grown in confidence, and he's been very much a match for the defending champ.
56. $57.
Nicely done. Red's available to the right corner here.
62.
One more red and the black would be enough.
$63.
Well, frame ball coming up then, and he's put these together very well.
$70. $71.
Well, this break may have been launched by a fortuitous plant, but the rest of it's been all skill. And he's not looked like missing. He's got a nice pace around the table now, Donaldson. May have been taking his time early on, but
77.
he's in rhythm now.
$78. $83.
Still in with a chance of just his 5th century of the season.
$90.
Shame. No century, but that's another excellent break from Scott Donaldson. He's keeping the pressure on the defending champion, Mark Selby, playing catch-up again, trailing 4-3. 2 frames away from defeat against an increasingly confident Scott Donaldson, who's beginning to score heavily when he gets the chance. More than matching Selby in the safety stakes. He's a handful at the moment, Mike.
He is. And as I said before, I think he'll fancy his chances now. Imagine if he gets this one. I think this red does go to the right centre, so you can drop this in and land on the yellow to the same centre pocket. Too thin. Now he needs some cover. Well, it's got to be said, Phil, the defending champion is all over the place at the moment.
It was the margin by which he missed that red, which was surprising.
One.
Terrific tussle going on between Ollie Lyons and Mark Allen, who are level at 4-all now. Mark Williams is 1 frame away from victory over Andrew Higginson, 5-2 up.
3.
Black only available to one corner, so he might just drop this in dead weight for the blue. Could come off the top cushion, of course. Well, that's poor, really. He got a touch of side on the cue ball, didn't need that. He's been a little bit fortunate to have a shot on this blue, which I think he will take on. But that wasn't too clever. Now, there's just a little bit of pressure on this one. Well played. Confidence levels are going up.
9. Ten. $70. 18.
Well, 18 at the moment. He needs 68 to lead 5-3 against the defending champion. Well, as we've said before, Phil, considering what's gone before for Scott this season, this has come out of nowhere, really, hasn't it? I suppose there's just come a time you think, well, come on, let's get it together.
Yes, one of his better performances this season was against Selby, of course, in Barnsley at the English Open, when he only just lost 4-3.
$26.
It's another indication of the strength and depth of the game these days, though. You're looking at a guy who's ranked down in the 60s. He's never been higher than 65, turned pro 5 years ago, and yet giving the best player in the world all the trouble he can handle, and growing in confidence all the time. What a terrific shot that was.
Yeah, and I think there's a bit more trouble to come here as well.
30.
Beautiful. Nicely done, sir. Now you've got to complete the job
34.
to make it 5-3.
Flying around the table now. Earlier on, Donaldson's average shot time was around about 29 seconds. I fancy it's gone up a fair bit in the last couple of frames. Mark Selby missing a red to right centre. Might just be his last shot of the frame.
$41.
Nothing he can do from there. He's been outplayed so far.
$42.
Well, Mark really hasn't applied any pressure like he normally does to his opponents. He sort of squeezes them, but he hasn't done so far this afternoon. Saw Mike Williams there under the table, in looking for the kill. It's Andrew Higginson.
Williams, who won his 19th ranking event when claiming the Irish Open in Belfast last week.
50.
Now then, this is not ideal. This could be missed. about 20 minutes then, average frame time, but concentrate on the pot here and let the rest happen. Well played. Didn't play a cannon on that one. I think he played a cannon on the red he's next to.
57.
But it's still okay. He's still in good position here to take this frame.
This is becoming an increasingly uncomfortable afternoon for Mark Selby. Staring at a 5-3 deficit. You'd never write him off because he's dug deep on so many occasions to pull out a victory from an uncompromising situation. His record at winning final
65.
frame deciders is outstanding. And it looks as though he's going to have to do that.
66.
But first, he's got to get to a final frame. Donaldson on the verge of 5-3. And those stats getting better all the time for the underdog. A huge underdog at that at the outset. Not anymore.
72.
Mark Selby, Mr. Red, and has spent the rest of the frame in that chair.
Well, he's done enough, but it's
77.
looking for the century. No. Can he cut this one back in?
The century remains elusive, but Scott Donaldson won't really care because he has played some tremendous stuff here. He's on the cusp of a famous victory, leading 5-3. Selby, world #1 by a mile, defending champion, 8 times a Triple Crown winner, in desperate trouble now at 5-3 down against the world number 66 from Perth, Scotland, Scott Donaldson, who hadn't won a single match all season coming into this tournament. Remarkable. But of course, it's one thing getting into a position to win, it's another thing finishing it off, particularly against this guy who never knows when he's beaten. But in truth, Selby has been outplayed so far. What has he got left? Well, he's lucky. He's lucky.
Well, there is a red to the middle, but it's not easy. Well, that's interesting. Jeff's to play the safety.
What odds would you have got on this scoreline when Selby was 2-0 up? Lost 5 of the last 6 frames now. Rob Milkins has pulled the frame back against Lee Hang, so Lee now leading 4-3. Winner of that to play the winner of this.
Touch and ball. Touch and ball.
Well, this might go on for some time, especially with the reds down the table. Just back into the pack. Well, re-rack. Well, I think he was thinking about trying to get the white to the back to the top cushion there. That would have been some shot, though. That cue ball is pretty close to this top cushion. Nearly a minute thinking time. Now, as he's thinking of bringing the white down towards the yellow pocket, he's going to have to be careful. He might leave something on. Just gently into the pack again, I think. It's not he that needs to take the risks. Mark is 5-3 behind.
Yes, and it's one of those frames that whoever does get him first is going to have a great chance to make a frame-winning break. In Donaldson's case, it could be a match-winning break. Mark Allen has edged 5-4 in front of Ollie Lyons. Mark Williams 5-2 up on Andrew Higginson. Lou Haushin 4-3 up on Peter Ebden. And Dave Gilbert, who was 4-0 down to Mark Joyce, is now 4-2 behind and 49 in front in the 7th. So there could be a comeback on the cards there.
Might have left one here, one that's just beyond the pink spot, but it's high risk, especially 5-3 behind.
Well, look at that. Selby frozen out in the last couple of frames since he managed to level at 3-all. 2 big breaks from Donaldson. Every ball now is a pressure ball for the defending champion. Very little margin for error.
No, he doesn't want this to rattle and stay there. That's okay.
Big shot this. And he's got it. He's got it. So the first opportunity with the red spread far and wide goes to Scott Donaldson and Mark Selby. Must be getting seriously concerned now. That prolonged applause as Selby looks a little forlorn was for Mark Williams, who's beaten Andrew Higginson 6-2. He'll now play Ryan Day. Well, just look at these reds.
Yeah, but that's just landed a little bit awkwardly, actually. If the red to the right middle goes, no problem. So he's going to have to just slightly hamper, but all he has to do is drop this red in for the black. What a chance this is, Phil. What a chance for a major upset in a major tournament. Well, it was a great red anyway to get in to the middle, but now then, can he keep it all together?
Yep. 14.
He needs 71 points from this leave for a great victory.
Mark Selby was 2-0 up and cruising.
Well, I don't think any of us saw this coming. I mean, Scott's not there yet, but what a chance.
15.
Almost too many options here for Scott Donaldson.
22.
It's all about keeping his concentration, keeping a tight rein on the cue ball, not getting ahead of himself. All of the
23.
things that sound easy, but in practice are very difficult when you're under the kind of pressure that he is. With an opportunity to score what would surely be the biggest win of his career, to knock out the defending champion at the UK after the season he's had, would be remarkable. But that's gone wrong.
He still has the one there as the pink.
28.
Just looking for a little cannon there. And when you need to find the gap, you can't find it. But he still has a chance, it's okay. I think the yellow goes to the right centre as well. Let's see how he plays this one. Well, that will do nicely. Nice nudge off the red there.
29.
Good recovery. The pressure is still on.
Well, Selby would have hoped very briefly for a reprieve, not to be, not for now at least.
Well, I said the pressure's still on, Phil, but, you know, you still have to put them together, don't you? The Mark Selby coming in today was a very strong favourite.
Particularly when he won the first 2 frames. That 3rd frame was so important for Scott Donaldson.
34.
Yeah, what I mean by that, of course, and the pressure is still on, is that you have to complete the job.
Yes, and that's something he's managed just once in 11 attempts this season, remember.
Well, this would definitely make up for all of those.
38.
Outstanding pot success. He's outplayed Selby. Pretty much every department.
39.
Well, he's got stronger and more confident as the match has gone on.
Those stats are also very good. 7 out of 10 from long range. But that perhaps is the most significant one. Outstanding safety. As the match has gone on, he has been able to score heavily when he's had chances like this.
43.
Well, I've seen some of the big boys go out at the stages of tournaments this year, but I think undoubtedly, Phil, this will probably be the shock of the season.
Yes, I think given that it's Mark Selby, given that Scott Donaldson has had a terrible time of things this season, given that Selby started well enough, taking a 2-frame lead, it's hard to imagine a bigger upset. Of course, Ding Junhui lost from 5-1 up against Leo Fernandez. That was a big upset, but remember that Ding has been in pretty poor form of late.
50.
Selby, already a ranking titleist this season, elected to miss the Irish Open, which seemed entirely sensible
51.
given the volume of snooker he's played. Wanted to come here fresh and invigorated for his title defence. It's not worked out. Scott Donaldson wisely just regrouping here. He knows what a golden opportunity this is for a huge victory for him. I think that applause was for Mark Allen, who's got over the line against Ollie Lyons 6-4.
$55. $56.
Just looking at the draw as well, to just continue here. Ollie Lyons, if he'd come through and his dad had come through, they'd have met in the next round. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Peter plays UC, but Mark Allen has won there.
So this is match ball, barring snookers.
Well, a great performance here from Scott Donaldson since the interval. He's played really strongly.
It will be 6 frames out of 7. Quite remarkable. One more red to really set the seal on things. As things stand, Selby needs a couple of snookers.
65.
And that surely is it.
Well, he'll be feeling fantastic inside. And I'll tell you what, Phil, you can't take it away from it. He's deserved this victory.
He absolutely has. He's outscored Mark Selby handsomely.
73.
He's got the better of the safety duels.
74.
And after a sticky start, he has produced by an absolute mile his best performance of what has largely been a very forgettable season, and has created some major shockwaves around this venue. And the only thing that has eluded him today so far is a three-figure break. Is he about to put that right and set the seal on a memorable day for him? Selby will be bitterly disappointed to see his title defence end so soon, but I'm sure he'll be the first to admit that today
77.
he's been second best.
Well, that was a pity. Any sort of nudge and he would have been on the
84.
red. Well, just hit this and see what happens. Oh, that was going close as well.
That is one of the most stunning results of the season. Defending UK champion, world champion and world #1 Mark Selby dumped out by a man who won just one match in 11 attempts all season. And Scott Donaldson has done it in style. From 2-0 down, he has beaten Mark Selby by 6 frames to 3.